Hello, 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 and welcome to the Brand to Bank Accelerator, where we are going to accelerate your authority, visibility, and sales literally in the next 30 to 40 minutes. Now, this is the thing. I know you're here because you want to make more sales. I know you're here because maybe you're posting on social media and it's not working, or you're not even posting because you don't know what to post, but you have big freaking dreams and you are here because you know that you're fucking amazing at what you do. So, before we get started, I want you to turn off any of the distractions that you have around. All those tabs at the top of your computer, they need to go. Close some of the tabs, hit the do not disturb button in your phone, close the door in your office, whatever it is that you need to do, because it's so easy to take these trainings and never do them. Download the freebies and never do them. But I guarantee you that if you stick with this video and this training for the next 30 to 40 minutes, it will change your business. Okay. So if we don't know each other, my name is Ati Grinspun. I'm a former six-figure bartender in Las Vegas, turned a personal branding expert. I built a multiple six-figure business in the last 5 years just by coaching women just like you. And when I started my business, I had 0 followers. We all start in the same place. Not only that, I hit my first 100K year with under 2,000 followers on Instagram. So I want you to know that wherever you are right now, you are in the right place, my friend. Okay. I have helped hundreds of women at this point turn their invisible brand into a full time income. And that is my freaking passion. Okay. When it was time for me to leave my bartending job, it was hard. So, my mission in this world is to help you become more of who you are through what you do. Okay, so I am also the host of Beyoubrand Live, which is a personal branding and personal growth event here in Las Vegas, happening the last week of September every single year. We are going into our third year. If you are watching this in 2025, check it out. But let's get freaking started. So, you know that you're amazing at what you do. Maybe you're even a new coach. Maybe you left corporate. Maybe you had a baby and you don't want to go back to corporate. Maybe you are still side hustling. A lot of my clients are just like you, and they were spinning their wheels when they first started their business. Okay, now you're spinning your wheels trying to get traction online. Maybe you are networking and you're like, I am not getting any leads from that. You feel invisible even though you're showing up constantly. Now I want you to know, showing up constantly doesn't necessarily lead to sales. We're going to get into that in a second. You're not sure who your ideal client really is. You're still in the phase of like, well, but I can help so many people. We're going to get into that too. You've taken the courses, downloaded the freebies, maybe even videos like this one, but you're still unclear and you know it. Okay. Your dream of replacing your 9 to 5 or making a real income. And guys, I want you to know that for me, real income is making 100K as a minimum in your business, okay? Because you still need to pay yourself, you need to pay taxes. There is all the things in business that coaches are not talking about, but I will. So I want you to know that if you want to turn your side hustle into a full-time income for yourself, you're in the right place. But right now you're stuck in that getting ready to get ready mode. So I want to get you out of there. But the problem right now that you are having is you're posting on social media. If you're posting, because a lot of my clients come to me at 0, they are not posting. Now you are showing up at networking events. Maybe this is crazy, you guys. Maybe you're even doing some speaking engagements. And the reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of my clients, they look great from the outside, but they're not making any money when they first come to me. Okay. And the problem for that is you haven't built an actual profitable personal brand yet. Okay. You're kind of like doing all the things, most likely in the wrong order. We're going to get into that too. But then also, you're doing all the busy work that is not leading to income. So I'm going to break it down for you. There is three phases of building a personal brand. Now, this is the reason you have been confused all along. And when I show it to you, you're going to be like, duh. But there is another layer to this problem, which is you hear a lot of the gurus talking on social media. And when they talk about personal branding, they're only talking about social media. So bear with me because I'm going to break it down to you. This is the reason you have been confused all along, but also this is kind of the old way of building your brand. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So there is actually three building blocks for your personal brand. Okay. Your brand strategy, your brand identity, and your brand marketing. So we have the brand strategy, the brand identity, and your brand marketing. Now, under these categories, right? And you probably heard these, or you even have done worksheets and stuff like that that help you to put these things in place. So, under your brand strategy is your self discovery, is your mission, your vision, where you're going, what are you building, your core values, what do you stand for, what are the things that you truly want, and how do you want to do them? What do you want to be known for? This is so, so, so important. This is a key point of you building your personal brand, okay? Establishing your expertise. What are you known for that people are, I want to work with her and with nobody else, okay? Who is your golden dream client? Is that ideal client that you're like, this is not just a person I can help, but this is the best person for my offers, my programs, my coaching, whatever that is. Okay. Then part of that brand strategy is doing market research. This is where a lot of women start their business and you're just starting to put shit out there. And guess what happens? It's not talking to anybody because you don't know what your golden dream client actually wants, needs, desires, or how they're actually communicating that. Okay. So then obviously narrowing down your market. Okay. Then under brand identity, this is where you're going to have the colors, the fonts, the logos, even your website kind of comes in here, like the graphic design, all of that. This is like almost like the photos, the visuals, okay, that define your brand, which depending on where you are in your journey, they're more important than you actually think they are, because this is where trust starts building in your business with your ideal client, when they see you online, when they see you in person, when people come to your website. However, you can have the best photos, the best colors, the best fonts, the best logos, but if you don't have a brand strategy, guess what? You are throwing money in the trash, my friend. Okay, now let's talk about brand marketing. Okay, this is where actually social media comes in. This is where in person events come in. This is where email marketing, like the copy in your website, maybe blogging, maybe podcasting, ads, YouTube, whatever it is. So the brand marketing is like the amplifier, right? Is the megaphone that you put your brand strategy. Now, this is the biggest problem that I see when clients come to me. Most of us, I'm going to say this is how I learned this. 7 years ago, when I started my business the way it is right now, I actually had several businesses before this one, but I'll tell that story in another moment. I actually started here. I was like, I opened an account in social media. I created my website. I started collecting emails and nothing was happening. But the problem for that is because you are trying to post on social media without having a real clear understanding of your brand strategy. And I am going to help you to get really freaking clear today. You're going to leave today with a very clear tool, and powerful tool to actually be able to at least start this. Okay. Now, this is the problem. None of the things are wrong. They just cannot happen all at the same time, all at the beginning of your business. I can even tell you how many people come to me that they have spent $3,000 on a website, they're starting a podcast, and I ask them, okay, how many clients are you working with? Oh, none. I'm like, what? So the problem with this is that not all of the things can happen together. They should happen together. And the worst problem is that you don't have any clarity on these to actually guide your marketing. Okay. So now there is another issue here, which is this why this training is called brand to bank. So you can use your brand to actually make money. Tell me, in this program or in this like graphic, where is the sales in this model? So when I started to get really savvy in my business and I started to coach women, even in the first year of me coaching women, this was back in 2020 during the pandemic, I realized really quick that a lot of people were talking about post more reels, post on social media, open a YouTube channel, do this, go networking. I'm like, okay, where is the sales in this model? Now, before we get to the sales, we're going to trash this model, but I am going to give you the formula for brand clarity. And then I'm going to show you the sales model. Okay. Because again, if you don't have clarity here, you won't be able to use your marketing. And if you don't have clarity and we don't have marketing, we cannot sell. Okay. So let's jump into that. I hope you're taking notes. I hope you're freaking loving it so far. The formula for brand clarity. Now, brand clarity is going to bring a strong messaging. You probably heard about messaging before. Now, this is the thing. Your messaging is nothing more than the way you clearly convey in words the value of your service to the world. Okay. A confused mind does not buy. I want you to understand this. The reason why you click play in this training is because you saw something on my messaging that where this is what I need, either consciously or unconsciously. Now, this is super important because if people don't know how you can help them, they might consume your content. They may even comment on your content. They may tell you, you're amazing. I love your content. You're so inspiring. But guess what? They are not going to buy. Okay. And so let's actually get started. So the formula for brand clarity, I come back to this with my clients over and over and over, including myself. And I'm going to tell you why. Every time I drop a new offer, every time I host a training, even for this training, I took a piece of paper and I was, okay, who is this training for? And I wrote it down. And I'm going to tell you how you're going to do that too. What do you do? This is so freaking important. So many of you are beating around the bush. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. For me, my mission, what do I do is I help women build profitable personal brands that get to 100K, okay? And I do that through personal branding strategies, through sales strategies, and through your business model, okay? So your business model actually can create recurrent revenue, like people coming to you all the time, all the things, okay? Now, for years, I used to say, I help women stand out online even when they don't know how to post on social media. Well, there was a takeaway for that. It wasn't really what I was helping my people to do. I was kind of beating around the bush of what I really help my client achieve and what my client actually wants. Why this is so important, we actually teach this inside our academy, but the reason why this is so important is because you may know what your client wants, but you might be addressing it in a way that is not landing with them. So something that happened was I would do these intakes with my clients after they were done working with me. And they're like, oh my God, the best thing was that we actually got my business bringing clients, an influx of clients all the time, that I was able to get to 100K. And now I know what I need to do next. I know the next steps. I know that I can rinse and repeat. Okay. So the other thing is, who do you do it for? For the longest time, again, right, I used to say women entrepreneurs. But the truth is that my work is not for everybody. It's for a very specific type of coach and service provider. I don't necessarily work with a lot of like product people, okay? And my model best serves a woman that it's okay with showing up online, she is okay with networking, and she has big fucking dreams, and she is ready to take action. Okay. So it's very important that you understand who your people are. Okay. Now I'm going to help you to actually create this document for yourself. Now, the other thing that you want to have clarity is in how do you do it. So earlier when I was telling you what do you do? What do I do? Right? I'm like, okay, I help women get to their first 100K or their next 100K by working on their business model, by working on their personal brand, all of that. So how do you do it? And a lot of people forget, right, that people don't know what it is that you do. You are assuming people know, but they don't. Okay. So let's actually get breaking down the formula for you. So now I want you to know this. While this is a I help statement, I never want you to go to a networking event or introduce yourself in a training like this and be like, I help, and kind of be a robot, I help do this. But this is how you start so you get clarity. And I'm going to show you how you're going to use these in so many areas of your business. Okay. So again, remember what I told you earlier, like who do you help in here? This is your ideal client. Now, because you already fill this out, you should have the answer to already put it here. So for example, for me, I help coaches and service providers in the first 3 to 5 years in business that they have not broken 100K. Okay. Now, what do I help them do? Get to 100K or their next 100K. Okay. So that they can have a life and business they're absolutely obsessed with. Why this is important, you guys? Because this is where also your mission comes in, right? For me, I want women like me that maybe they left their job, their moms, they are not available for being in a 9 to 5 anymore, to truly have a business they love. When I first started my business, it was a fucking nightmare. I was making money, but I didn't love the way I was making money. So that's a lot of what I do. And I want people to know that when they come work with me. I want you to have a life that you absolutely fucking love by being more of who you are, bringing that into your business, really using your heart led vision of what you want to create, so we can all create this impact in the world and we can have a better world in general, right? So you were put in this world for something, and I truly believe that. Okay. So the formula in use. So, for example, I help burnout moms fit in a beauty self-care routine in 5 minutes a day, right? This is a friend of mine that she teaches, a client of mine, actually. Well, my friends are my clients, and vice versa. She does makeup tutorials and she sells makeup and she has her own brand and does all these things, but she also does makeup, right? So it's like this service provider that she's like, moms should feel beautiful even when they don't have the time, right? If you have tiny kids at your house, you know how it is. I help busy professional families find their dream homes so they can have their own oasis to create memories in. Now, what I want you to start thinking when it comes to building this formula in use, again, you're not necessarily going to use these in these words, but this is going to inform all of your marketing. So I'm going to bring you back for a second here. So part of having this formula, the way we teach is literally your brand strategy. So now this information that we are gathering here, now you can start saying, okay, if I help burnout moms fit in a beauty self-care routine in under 5 minutes a day, how can I talk about burnout moms? What are all the things that they're going through? What are all the things that can help them, right? Maybe you share not only tips, but you share about your own burnout story, right? Like then you talk about what is actually a beauty self-care routine. Like, right? Maybe you talk about like what can they do in 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night. But this provides you not only with a very clear value niche statement, which I'm going to tell you why I call it this way, but it's also a guideline for you to know what to talk about in your content and how to actually talk to other people about what it is that you do. Now, a niche statement is a clear and concise statement that describes again, right, who you are, what you do, and the results you get for your ideal client. I always talk about, do you remember back in the day when we used to scroll at night? I'm dating myself, but like when we used to scroll at night, when we used to see those infomercials that were really straight to the point. You're struggling with this, you want this result, but you're actually feeling like this. This is pretty much what this is. And these people that did infomercials actually knew their shit, okay? Because they only had a few seconds to get your attention, and they needed to show you the result you were going to get by actually buying something at 3 in the morning while you were watching that ad. Now, guys, girls, gals, we live in the attention economy where people are seeing your content for like 3 or 5 seconds at a time. This is why this is so important. So they can understand who you are, what you do, the results you can get for them. They can identify that you are the person for them before they scroll away. Okay. Now, these are some of the places you are going to use this. Your social media bio is the perfect place for you to test this, because this is where when somebody new comes into your account, maybe they came from a networking event, maybe they found you on Instagram, maybe a friend shared your account with them. When they see your social media bio and a little bit of your content, they're going to know right away if you are the person for them. This is why I'm such a huge proponent of you keeping this in mind every time you create content. And your first 9 posts on social media should talk to what that bio is. So there is no dissonance between what you say you do and what you're actually showing them. Now, also, if you go networking and you ever had to introduce yourself or somebody asks you, what is that you do? Boom, this is the way you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to use it on your business cards, and you're going to use it by when you have clarity and somebody else introduces you that maybe heard you say this a million times. Guess what? Now they can repeat it. You're going to use these maybe if you go on an interview, if you go on a podcast episode, maybe if somebody interviews you on Instagram, you are going to use these in all of that. Now, this, my friend, is just the beginning, because this is one of the things that enrages me about the online world. And everybody's promising you that you can get to 10K a month in the next 30 days, that you can build a 6-figure business in the next 5 fucking minutes. And the truth is that that is not true, right? Not only we want to work on your messaging, in your clarity, in your visibility, but we also need to be working on your business model. What is the actual business model that fits you, that you actually like doing? Sometimes that takes trial and error, right? So I want to introduce to you the Beaver Academy, which I name a few times through this training, which is a 12-month brand and business accelerator. Now, this is very thought out, and this actually started as a 3-month course years ago, back in the pandemic. And what it became really, really obvious to me is that women not only needed information, they also needed help, accountability, feedback in the implementation. So let me actually show you some of the results of the clients that I have worked with. So let me.
It's a whole different ballgame when you know your craft versus running a business. There's so many different sides to it. So you could be the best bookkeeper, photographer, coach, but the business side can really, weigh you down. What really prompted me to join was I was having such a hard time with my content. I couldn't figure out, I was spending more time than even the bookkeeping. So here we are. So really that extra push to help me dig down to what I truly wanted and what I wanted my business to look like in 5-10 years and what I needed to do now to make those things possible.
And what happened after that?
I am on track this year to do 6 figures.
Did you miss it by like a smidge?
Just by a little bit. But from where I was the end of, so that's end of 2021, it was almost 4 times more than I was doing. It's a whole different ballgame when you know your
she
versus
quadrupled
so many
her
different sides
business
to it. So
in
you can be the
1
best bookkeeper,
year,
photographer,
you
coach,
guys.
but the business
And the
side can
first
really,
year that we
weigh you
worked
down.
together, she
What really prompted me
missed
to
it by a
join
little
was
bit,
I was
and
having
she
such a
went the
hard time
next year
with my content. I couldn't
and
figure out, I
several
was
years
spending
after that
more time
to
than even the
do
bookkeeping.
6
So here we
figures
are.
and
So
more.
really that
Now,
extra push to help
also,
me
not
dig
only she
down to
gained
what I
confidence,
truly
she also
wanted and what I
opened a
wanted my business
networking
to look like
organization
in
in her
5-10
area.
years and what I
Now,
needed to do
let
now to
me
make those things
introduce you
possible.
to
And
another
what
one of my
happened after that?
clients.
I am
Her
on
name
track
is
this year to do
Tess.
6.
On a business standpoint, obviously everything I learned taught me how to integrate my personal likes and that type of content. And it also taught me how to really not just post, but build content that was attracting the right people. Once I started taking your advice and your steps, the connection calls just started coming like every single week. And this was the craziest thing. I went from posting and people like knowing that I was investing, people just liking, to once I started building what you say is content, like every week someone's reaching out to me like, okay, I see what you're doing and I want to talk to you. And I was like floored. It was just like the floodgates opened and people from all walks in my network that I want and need to communicate with started reaching out to me. And I was like, this is insane. This actually works. On a business standpoint, obviously everything I learned taught me how to integrate
it is when you actually
my
start doing
personal
something
likes
and it
and
works,
that
right?
type
Okay,
of content.
let me
And
introduce
it
you
also
to
taught
my
me how
next
to
client.
I feel like pinching myself. I mean, I'm celebrating. I made last year $2,696.39 less $100,000.
It's okay. It's okay. It's literally like a pinch under your first 6-figure year.
Yes. And this year, I already signed a new client. And I literally just got off a call with another prospect. I feel like pinching myself. I mean,
Guys, this is not just a fluke. The truth is that the Beaver Academy is truly curated. So in 12 months, you can clarify your brand message, you can own your niche and your offer. I know there is a lot of niche fucking drama out there. And I want to tell you this, I am not going to be the coach that's like, you need to niche down. We do it a little bit different around here, but we're going to build your confidence to show up on and offline. Okay. I'm going to show you how we do it in a second. I'm going to teach you so you can learn how to sell without feeling sleazy, right? You're going to build visibility that pays, and you're going to walk away and create a business model that it's like you and actually makes you money. Now, let me walk you really quick in how we actually do this. And you can also mentally kind of rate yourself in like each area, but let me walk you through this. And this is where earlier I showed you that we took that old model and we threw it away, because that three brand pillar model, it's missing what coaches and service providers they actually need to actually be making sales. So the three pillars are actually your clarity and your authority. Number one, you have to have clarity. This is you. This is you understanding who you serve, committing to that person, knowing who you help the best, not just anybody, and then claiming your authority. People are not just looking for people that know their shit. They're looking for somebody that can truly help them. It doesn't matter how much I know if I cannot translate that into working with you, and I cannot help you understand it, implement it, and actually have it working. Okay. So when you are in the first stages and you're still confused, and this still blows my mind because I get so many clients that actually are not beginners and they're still confused. Okay. So yes, we do start with brand clarity, but immediately we start working on your cash ready offer. Now that looks very, very different for different coaches and for where you are in your business. But my goal is that we have an offer within the first month that offer can sell. Okay. Now, immediately after that, we go into the golden client magnet method. This is where I told you earlier that we match your ideal client's words in order to create a strong, relatable messaging. Now, if you don't know how to attract clients right now and having people reaching out to you and saying, hey, Jackie, I saw exposed and really spoke to me. Can you tell me more about it? Or if you don't have people saying, hey, I know I need your help, or people saying, like, oh my God, you posted that and immediately I knew I needed to work with you. Truth is, this is what it's holding you back. Okay. Now, this is where we start working on your visibility. Number one, yes, is content, but confident money content is content that actually converts into sales, is content that not only like so many of you right now are hoping for comments. I can even tell you how many people come to my trainings or they watch the video and they're like, oh my God, I've been watching you for 6 months. I've been watching you for a year. And they never, I don't even know who they are. They never commenting on any of my content. Okay. So the problem is vanity metrics need to go out the door. Okay. Now, the other thing that we put in place, this is what makes us super fucking different, is I teach you how to build your own algorithm. And just so you know, this is trademark. And the reason for that is because I don't post and hope that people are going to come to me. This is where the on and off line comes alive. This is where we talk about really you becoming an authority, speaking, going to networking events, going to conferences, not only as an attendee, but also as a speaker. And there is so much more into that. Like when we actually have all the pieces in place, this is where actually makes sense for you to start putting out there because the messaging, it's calling your people in. Okay. And then the visibility that plays is where you start speaking on stages, where you start leveraging collaborations and other people's audiences. Okay. Now, this is my favorite part. If you are here today, I know that you're not having enough sales. You might have a sale here and a sale there. They're trickling in. Maybe you're working with one client 1 month, no clients the next month, and your business is not really a business, right? It's either a hobby or right now it's just a side hustle that you have no idea how is actually going to pay you a full-time income, whatever that means to you. I already told you that for me, my desire is that you can make 100K and then we can scale and you can have a repeatable sales system for that. So we do that through Leads to Sale Bridge, a 6-figure trigger event, and having a profit planning system. I cannot break it down right now because it's a short training, but this is literally what most of the women that come to me are missing. They're posting, they think they know who they're talking about, they're creating content, but all of this piecing, nothing is working. Everything is trickling in. And on top of that, they don't have a repeatable sales system. I'm talking organic. I'm not talking ads. I'm talking something that you can repeat over and over and over so you know that you can trust your business every month to bring in income. Okay. So I want to invite you to book a call with me on the button below. You can also DM me on Instagram. I am always hanging out in there and be, hey, I just were like, watch your training. I have questions. This is the thing, you guys. If you want to get to 100K this year, next year, the year after, you're not going to do it by buying $97 courses, $22 freebies. You need to put the head down and truly build a business. And that is what the beyoubrand Academy is for. So come visit us, come to my website, atigrinspun.com, beyoubrand, book a call with me, and then we'll go from there. I love you and I can't wait until I see you implement all this.